Welcome to Synagogues of Connecticut, Part 5. Our first stop is in Lichtfield, which is in northwest Connecticut. And we're looking at the building that houses the Chabad Lubavitch of northwest Connecticut. Rabbi Joseph Eisenbach is its director. Chabad opened up a branch here in 1996. There is a Saturday morning Shabbat service as well as a Sunday morning service followed by breakfast. Let's shift over to Madison and Reform Temple Beth Tikva. It has Shabbat services every Friday evening as well as a Saturday morning Torah study. Stacy Offner has been its rabbi since 2012. The congregation started out in 1970 as the Shoreline Jewish Community Organization. It moved into a newly built synagogue in 1976 and changed its name to the current Beth Tikva. Madison is in New Haven County, has a population of about 18,000, and this congregation now has about 300 member families. We move on to Manchester, and as the sign reads, Congregation Beth Shalom B'nai Israel, a conservative affiliated synagogue. Randall J. Konigsberg recently joined them as the spiritual leader. Richard Plavin is Rabbi Emeritus. In addition to Friday evening and Saturday morning Shabbat services, there is a Monday through Thursday evening minyan. Manchester has about 58,000 residents and is part of the greater Hartford area. So now we switch to Mansfield. It's also part of the greater Hartford area and has about 25,000 residents. It shares facilities with the Hillel House on the campus of the University of Connecticut. It is an unaffiliated independent congregation that meets usually one Friday night a month, and more often in a member's home than in the official facility. Services are lay-led rather than by a rabbi. Meriden, Connecticut is officially in New Haven County, but it's midway between the cities of New Haven and Hartford. There are more than 60,000 residents. This conservative affiliated congregation has Friday night and Saturday morning Shabbat services, as well as a Sunday morning and Thursday morning minyan. Michael Cohn has been its spiritual leader since 2008, although that first year he was an intern as he had not yet had smicha, or certified with ordination. What is unique about him is that this was a job that he took on after he retired from his career as a lawyer. The congregation began as Chevra B'nai Abraham in 1889. The building shown here was erected in 1952. Middleton is located almost in the center of the state and has about 48,000 residents. It is home to Adath Israel, another conservative affiliated congregation. It was organized in 1902, first as an Orthodox synagogue. The synagogue building shown here was built in about 1930. It was in the 1940s when the affiliation switched to conservative. The building houses a Judaica museum with more than 250 objects d'art. Besides Shabbat services, there is also a daily morning minyan. The congregation utilizes the service of Rabbi Seth Haas on a part-time basis. New Britain is also in Hartford County and has about 73,000 residents. We're looking at a closed synagogue. This was Temple B'nai Israel. It ceased as a Jewish house of worship in 2007. An entrance on the other side of the building seems to indicate that it now belongs to a church. The building was originally constructed for a non-Jewish purpose in 1929 as a Masonic hall. It is now in the National Register of Historic Places as of 1995. The design of the building is called Neoclassical Revival. The congregation B'nai Israel was originally an Orthodox one in 1889. It switched to conservative in 1924, so by the time it moved into this building, it had a name change of Acheyu B'nai Israel to Temple B'nai Israel. Those who did not want to participate in the switch to conservatism started a new congregation called Tiferes Israel Synagogue. When it closed, all the Torah scrolls were turned over to Hillel organizations at 3 colleges in the Hartford area. An interesting side note is that in 1958, a Hebrew school building was built across the street, and at one point the 300-member congregation hosted 700 students in that building. Well, we mentioned that there was another synagogue called Tiferes Israel, an offshoot of Bnei Israel. Its building, as shown here, was also placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1995. It also has colonial revival influences and was built in 1925. Back in its heyday of the 1950s and 60s, the congregation boasted attendance of about 400 people. Although there's about 73,000 people living in New Britain, there's maybe 25 of the Jewish persuasion. 30 to 50 will show up at a holiday service, while it struggles to get a minyan or quorum on Saturday mornings. In recent years, a retired rabbinic prison chaplain has acted as the leader of the services. This rabbi is committed to bringing back to the synagogue Jews from other nearby communities. We've concluded this particular tour, but there are many more synagogues in Connecticut to see. So, bye for now and see you real soon.